the days when they say the place of the woman is in the kitchen. Now you find women everywhere. Mention the sector. Is it agriculture? Is it finance? Anywhere at all. And guess what? Women are not just there. They're performing efficiently well. And so we're here today, though we met her at the kitchen, but this is a woman who has served and is serving in the rank of permanent secretary across board. Women Affairs, Housing, Environment, and presently she's permanent secretary, special projects. And that goes a long way to tell you that women are multitaskers. The aroma in this kitchen is something to go for. We met her at the kitchen, yet she's an efficient force. Matter of fact, a delegate at the national conference. I'm talking about Patricia Ogbonnaya. It's good to have you on the program, Women in Politics.
Thank you very much.
I am Ogbonnaya Adekunle, your host. Yeah, and I think Abuja favors you really good.
You think so?
You look good.
Who are you? Thank you very much.
Well, some say you can't be a delegate at the national conference and not look good.
Oh.
Given the pay.
I didn't know about that.
Okay, really, let's get to business. You wrote a book about Nigerian history,
yes,
social and environmental education. But let's start with the history of Nigeria. With the history of Nigeria that you know,
yeah,
how would you evaluate Nigeria at this moment, especially talking about democracy?
My evaluation is Nigeria has done very well. It may sound strange, especially to the younger generations. Yeah. But if you go through the books, this book is a book of facts, actually. Yeah. These are things that happened. You will know that this is the other side of Nigeria. We are used to the negative side of Nigeria, repression, or this, that. But I tell you, for a group of persons less privileged, less developed, to be able to gain their independence through dialogue from the world powers of that century, that is the beginning of democracy. Our founding founders, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Sir Abubakar, Awolowo, they're all from different regions of the country with their followers. They had a lot of followers. For them to be able to dialogue, democracy is all about dialogue, not violent, or not violence. They were able to dialogue in conferences, like we just heard. They would go to London, they would go to Lagos. The first conference in Nigeria actually was in 1950. It was in Ibadan. And they dialogued, and eventually it accumulated into several constitutions. And they arrived at independence in 1960. In 1963, they became a republic after another dialogue. Because after 1960, they actually were not absolutely independent of the colonial masters. The Queen was still the head. It was in 1963 that they gained the republic. But unfortunately, 1966, we had coup. And from that time on, we had challenges in governance. But it doesn't mean that Nigeria had been on the same spot. Remember, they gained independence, a young nation, they had coup. So they were still trying to, oh, yes, no. They started with ministerial type of governance, Westminster, a British pattern of, yes, British pattern of democracy. They tried that one. They came to presidential, they came to military, and they have tried all the type of governance they could.
So now, it looks like we're testing the waters.
Oh yeah, as a nation, 50 years is very short in life of a nation. So if they were trying their hands here and there, I don't think they were missing their way. It is natural.
But you mentioned something earlier that the white men came before the advent of the white men, the colonial masters, that you described us as less privileged and were not really exposed. But don't you feel probably Nigeria would have done better without the coming of the colonial masters? Because talking about governance, we had the Benin Kingdom, which is very organized. We had the Oyo Empire. And you know, all of that. So don't you think would have done better without the colonial masters?
Well, in our own African setting, we can describe ourselves, you know, as very privileged. Or we had privileged governance. The different kingdoms were strong kingdoms. But don't forget that the British Empire expanded to India, Ethiopia. They were ruling the world. They were ruling actually about, I mean, over one third of the world. So you don't compare that to, for example, the Benin Kingdom or the Oyo Kingdom or those kingdoms in the north. They were strong, no doubt. But we are talking about an empire that stretched east, west, north, south of the world. That's why I call them. I said we are less privileged than this particular empire, the British Empire. Not just the United Kingdom now. I'm talking about the British Empire.
You are part of History Nigeria, a delegate at the National Conference.
Yes.
Well, since you started with the founding fathers of Nigeria, some of the opinion that Nigeria fared better because of resource control, where each region of the country controls its resources. Are you a proponent of that?
Yes, I am. Yeah. I am. Because it makes regions or states to be more proactive, to be more hardworking. When they say sustain yourself, you'll be able to develop the minerals, the resources, harness them, you know, to the call it better life. Like women will use, that's why I gave us for better life for Nigerians, not only for rural women, for both urban and rural people. Because we have a lot of resources deposited in this country. Every state in this country is viable. But they are not tapped or developed because of just one oil, one mineral, oil. And that is because at the end of the month, the states come with a cap in hand to collect. That's a lazy man's attitude. You just come at the end of the, go and sit down at the end of the month, or you know that, oh, money is there. That's why they don't use it very well. But if you tax the states, if you tax them to now pay, you know, you generate the money and pay to the center, corruption will reduce naturally. Because there's nothing to this thing. You'll be struggling to sustain and maintain your state. But when you just sit down and at the end of the month you come and they give you money, billions of naira, there's temptation of not doing anything. So they encourage the little-minded people not to work.
Still, at the floor of the National Conference, it was there was a resolution of changing the national anthem to the former one. The question is that what will change Nigeria? Changing the national anthem, will that bring the change, the desired change we need?
No, it may or may not. But I think it's just the desire, the hidden desire in the hearts of the delegates, you know, for oneness. Because that national anthem tells you the importance and the usefulness and the benefit of this diverse tongue and culture that we have. So that national anthem is telling you the positive benefit of the different tongues. Those tribes and tongues may differ. We have different types and tongues, but that's what they will tell you. You're a Yoruba person, you're an Hausa man, that's why you shouldn't agree.
Okay, it's just of that line.
That is it. The unity. They are trying to call back to the consciousness of Nigerians that you are one. That this diversity in language, in culture, and whatever, is not to divide us, is to put us together.
But you're aware that most people of my generation do not know that song.
You don't know that.
So you have to teach us all over?
It's right here in the book. I said everything about Nigeria. Oh, I won't say everything, but I tried to.
Okay, I'll ask you a little. Yes. You're just going to sing the first stanza for us now. Yes. Right, because we can't take it from the book. Whether the voice is good or not, you have to take your time to teach Nigerians on this platform Just the first stanza.
Nigeria, we hail thee. Is it? Please, no. Well, yes, I think it's a promptness. Otherwise, I would have.
Okay. Maybe you can use the book.
Yes, yeah. Maybe from there I can, because you just.
So you see, we have much work to do.
Oh, that is why it's written down for you, and that's why this book will be useful. Also, it's handy for every Nigerian. Good. Our own, let's say, Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
Oh, yeah?
Can you beat the
Oh, that's some good voice. And of course, good wordings too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even the second one, this present national anthem, to me is also this thing, you know.
I particularly, I think I prefer the second stanza.
Because you say, help use the truth to know. You will see that on every page of this book. I say, help the youth the truth to know the labors of our heroes past. That is contained in our national anthem, the present one. So whether the first one or second one, I think is attitudinal change, is the mindset. Let us set our mind right for Nigeria. Let us appreciate that Nigeria is the best place that anyone can come from. Be proud of Nigeria.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as weak, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on Core TV News.
Now, talking about the resolution of the National Conference that will be subjected to the National Assembly.
Yeah.
How fruitful do you think that will be?
Very fruitful. Very, because they are Nigerians. And of course, just as though we are listening to us when we are deliberating, we're also listening to the National Assembly. And I see them as patriotic Nigerians. Remember that the public or the citizens were skeptical about the success of the conference. All sorts of prediction, it will not work, it will not succeed. What has happened? We have succeeded, and we have finished our job. Oh, will they implement it? Will the president implement it? Other reports were hidden under the carpet. The president came, and what he did, he said, I'm going to implement. In the report there, it was categorized. The leadership did very good work. All categorized the resolution into policy, resolutions, and those that will go, what I call it constitutional resolution that will go to the assembly. And the president is telling you he's going to implement all. The one that will go to the assembly, all you need to do is to send a bill to the assembly on those ones. And you think that if the conference have done their own, and the conference is not just the 494 persons. The public, we are involved. When we started, we called for a memoranda from the public, you remember? And they sent in their memoranda. So that resolution is not just the 494 persons that took it. We only represented our various constituencies. The voice of all Nigerians were there.
Do you think everybody would agree with the fact that those at the national conference are true representation of the Nigerian people?
That's the opinion of people. If they don't want to agree, they should go to history again. That's why I decided to write on the history. People should go to research. You can go to the internet, go to history books. Not only this, if you don't want to read this one, go other ones. Nigeria evolved through conferences. From conferences, we had constitutions. From constitutions, we have Nigeria. So everything that happened in Nigeria was resolved in a conference. And in a conference, all the conferences, like I said, from 1950, there's no one that is as inclusive as this one convoked by Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
Talking about the implementation of this report, the president has just a few months to leave office. Is that not a way, because if you must implement, we know how long it takes to implement some policies sometimes. Is that not a way of making a stay in office or a comeback in office?
If you were at the closing ceremony, the chairman went ahead to read in his report the time he took other conferences. The first conference at 2005 or so was given about 12 months, but they couldn't arrive at decisions. Another one was 8 months or so, another one was 6 months, then this is 4.5 months. And yet, so it's not the timing, it's the willpower. The president has demonstrated that he has willpower. He has demonstrated that he's a listening president. Nigerians clamored for a conference. Can we consider a man who has family and will never gather the family together? Will never gather the children together to discuss. For years, Nigerians have not come together as siblings to discuss. So it took this man, the willpower, to convoke and bring together all facets of the society. You have the people living with disabilities. You have the youths. The youngest delegate was a 24-year-old young lady. It had never happened. Read the history of Nigeria. We have the women. You know what I'm saying this people. These are always the left out, the less privileged of society. But he considered all. Then all professionals were there. He made sure that all professionals were represented. You have all the that exists in Nigeria, except maybe ex-president. Apart from the office of the president, every other office in this country was represented. Every profession in this country was represented. So what else do you want? That is the mind of the people. That is the representation of the people. Like I told you, I said the leadership went further to now call for memoranda from the public. The first few weeks, that's what they did. And they were pouring in. So those who are left out and you think you have something that should be discussed, they brought memoranda. And they were all discussed. And of course, the discussion sometimes was turbulent. It was because of lack of information. If you don't know something, you are bound to argue. Just as our generation, like I said, most of them, even the young adults, don't know, even me, until I went to research. So those who came with particular mindset, when they came there and they now learned from the wisdom of the elders that were there. You have Edwin Clark, for example. You have Lamido of Adamawa. You have the monarch of Kwara. You have most of them there. Jibril Aminu, who now gave us, these were persons they had first-hand information of what happened in pre-independence and immediately after independence. We have knowledgeable persons, people, learned men and women. Prominent among them is one we call Addendum, son Zokume. We have a lot of them. So if you had a mindset, because of, I won't use the word ignorance, so that I don't look as though it's the same, lack of information, and you now come and you see that what you had in mind is not actually so. You are getting a true picture, the true information. You are bound to change your mind.
All right, let's move away from State of the Nation and turn to things that are actually peculiar to women. Yeah. You are a woman who has served in the rank of permanent secretaries across board. When I say across board, exactly, different ministries, women affairs, environment. Yeah. Which other one is that again?
We have housing.
Housing, and now you are in special projects.
Yeah.
How would you evaluate women participation in politics in Nigeria?
I will start by thanking and congratulating the First Lady, the impatient Jonathan, the wife of our president. She has demonstrated, or she's a symbol or a summary of women participation in politics in Nigeria. You know why I say so?
Why?
Because of 35% affirmative action. This 35% affirmative action, Nigerian women have been clamoring for it to be demonstrated in Nigeria. Other countries, after Beijing summit, have demonstrated it, they have actualized it, but here it was still strange when she came on board. So before now, we had women participation in politics, but not much to write home about. Just that all the women that participated, they give in their best, but in times of reward, they don't give them. We have the likes like Margaret Ekpo. Those are people who fought for our independence. We have Funmilayo Kuti. We have Gambo, Tabawa from Northern region. We had other women. Women have been trying to make impact, but their impact is just in the formative stage. When the dream is actualized, you don't see them anymore. They shove them aside. That is when the men will realize they are women, after they have contributed their quotas. After all, we'll form the greater percentage, even though the data in some state will say this, but I know we'll have a good percentage of voters, population. So in voting, it's usually women that vote. After using our votes and campaign, women all year will go for campaign, make all the noise. When the chips are down, when it comes to empowering them, if it comes to appointment, don't go near. Elected position, oh. But because of the courage of Mama Peace, as she fondly wants to be called, the impatient Jonathan, today 35% is no longer a taboo. Like in the conference, I thank the president that he gave women opportunity to be part of the conference. And that again is the advocacy of the wife, Mama Peace. That one went there, and I thank the leadership of the conference, Justice Kutigi, Professor Kinyemi, and our own representative there, the secretary. In fact, her name is incidentally my mother's name, Azinge, Janet Azinge. Valerie, Janet there is my mother's name also.
So you remember that easily?
Yes. So I told her, I said, you symbolized women again, you know, you had this position there, and in dispatch of her responsibility. Men will no longer say, oh, if you put women in position, they will oppress us. She didn't oppress anybody there. So I also thank the distinguished delegate that finally agreed that women should have 35% affirmative action institutionalized in Nigeria.
Okay, talking about the office of the First Lady, it's not constitutional in Nigeria. What the limits are when it comes to the wife of the president in politics in the country, given the role she played in the early days of the Chibok girls, abduction of the Chibok girls?
Thank you for that testimony. Maybe that will now inform why that office should be constitutionalized. Not because of Patient Jonathan. She's just one person that will come and go. But all of us are witnesses of what that office does. Even when they want to hide themselves, they don't want to be, they want to come out. People still go and fetch them. They are mothers. As long as their husbands are there, the problem is people will definitely cry unto them. And being Deborahs of the Bible, being Esthers of the Bible, they will not just watch things go bad and turn their eyes away. No.
But at that point, she didn't believe the girls were abducted. Some feel, why would a mother think another mother would want to lie about the abduction of girls?
Are you also aware of how the press was mishandling it? Because at the time, I also thought so. And I thought so at the time to relieve myself of the pains I was having, the nightmare. So I rather was trying to deceive myself that the children were not abducted, to have peace. Because I couldn't imagine the children in the bush. I was traumatized with what they were going through. So the press, I mean, you agree with me that the publication at that period too was also confusing. Not only to the wife, the first lady. But after the confusion, I'm sure you're also aware that it was her cry that called the attention of the international community. It was after that interview, or where after her weeping, telling the world that there is God. However she said it, she was crying like a mother when it dawned on her that truly these children are abducted. First Lady broke down in the public, which is on every Facebook today. People will actually see her wiping her tears, crying aloud. However, crying her language. And she forgot, of course, I'm facing the camera now. I'll have to try and comport myself because I'm conscious of the camera. But this woman forgot her status and just wept as she will weep in her bedroom. And Nigerians are trying to turn it upside down, but that cry, it went to heaven and it called international communities. Now, international communities are here now. And these children have not come home. That would tell us that it is not easy. Because if it were easy, because President gave them freedom, am I right? If I'm not mistaken. President allowed them. When they showed indicated interest, they want to come and help. He didn't prohibit them. He said, come and help. America is here. Israel is here. Germany is here. France is here. UK is here. They're all here. China, I'm sure. All these international are here. And the children have not come out. They are still working. How much more if the problem we are left to Nigerians alone, Nigerian government alone?
But if you feel that way, these first world countries have said it's because of the trust issue in the Nigerian military. That is what is limiting the help they can render.
When you say the limitation is because of whatever in the military, is that the president's absolute problem? Is he in absolute control? He has appointed who he's supposed to appoint. The people in the military, is he going to sack them? They are Nigerians. The problem is everyone. It won't take, it's only the president. You and I are occupying small position. That's why I wrote in that book. I said corruption can only go away if every Nigerian decides today that corruption should cease. When we keep pointing like this, the rest are pointing at you. The Bible says first remove the log. There's a log in your eye before you can see speck in another person's eye. The president is occupying one position. It has the duties of the president. What about those from vice president to me, to the least person in Nigeria, even to the community person that will see what do they call them now? What is the insurgents group around them? Are they living in the bush? They come, they live in the community. They know that these people, the terrorist group or whatever they want to call them. You see them, you turn your eyes away. Wait for the president. Have you sent a message?
Reports have it that they made calls.
They made calls.
Yes, and there was no response.
Okay, is that also this thing? Should it be attributed to the president? They made calls. People are given that duty to do. They made calls to you. What did you do? If they made calls, what did you do? Because I would have said, okay, the community. If the community have done their own, are you seeing it's a chain reaction that everybody has its own duty to do, to perform? If the community have done their own and they made calls, you go receive the calls. What did you do? Something is wrong. The president is here. It's not in Chibok. You and I have been given several positions. Nigerians are in different areas of endeavor, occupying one position or the other. We should be efficient on our job.
Okay.
Yes.
We're going back to women again,
Okay,
because it's women in politics.
Okay.
Given your personal experience,
Yes.
and the number of years you've worked,
Yeah.
has it been easy for you as a woman to attain this position you are? What did you experience along the way?
Honestly, it has not been easy. But with God, all things are possible. When I tell you, it has not been easy. And that's one I want to actually advocate, that Nigerian women should be given opportunity to release their potentials. They have a lot of potentials in them. See, what we experience here in Nigeria is any woman that is given a small opportunity is shut down immediately, irrespective of how that woman has tried. Irrespective. I'm not praising any woman. You are asking me a woman issue. So I hope I'll be judged at that. Look at our airports, for example. That's transformation. I'm not going into details. Like I said, I'm not an auditor, so I don't like looking for, dwelling more on people's weakness and leaving, their strength. Our airports have been transformed. You will agree. A woman was there. Many people were there before now. Today, who is handling the economy of this country? It's a woman. Thank God she's given opportunity. We have the petroleum sector. With all the rumors and all the whatever around her, petroleum has been steady.
Rumors.
Yes, I call them rumor because men have been there. If men have performed very well, she wouldn't have met the problems that she met. Nigeria gained independence in 1960 with all the problems. We have been having Minister for Women, Petroleum, Minister for Petroleum, Minister, all men. So what happened? A woman just came on board. We are expecting the magic. Each time a woman is appointed, that's when we expect magic. And they're trying.
So you feel Nigeria needs a female president?
If you give them opportunity, well, if you have anyone that displays the potential, why not? When you say use the word needs, I won't use that word needs. But if you give a woman, if you say you want to try a woman, why not?
Okay, rounding off now.
Yes.
Do you have a political ambition?
No.
Not forever?
No, not for now. No, of course I will retire. When I retire, of course I won't do this. I want to serve the country more. For now, I don't.
All right, but later we can think
later,
about it.
yes.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. It's been a wonderful time with you. And I hope next time we'll come, you'd allow us.
Oh, very much. Thank you for choosing me.
And that's it on this edition of Women in Politics. And if you did not hear anything at all, you must hear that part where Patricia said that you need a change of attitude as a Nigerian. It doesn't matter what we change, the structures, the national anthem, even the Nigerian flag. If you do not change your mindset, your attitude, then nothing changes. And that's a wrap on the program for this edition. Next edition promises to be better because it can only get better in the word of women. Thank you so much for watching. I am Ebunlomo Adikunle.